Hey, just wanted to sign in really quick. Wanted to talk about fear. Chances are, if you're new, you've got some fear living with your narcissist. There's lots of fears that we have, right? There's a physical fear of being actually harmed. A lot of us have fears of uncertainty. We have fears of what other people will think, which is, there's worries, which is a form of fear. So I wanted to ask you something. It took me a while to think about this, or to finally recognize this, but, where does all this fear come from? Well, the narcissist, or being with a highly manipulative person, the easiest way to control somebody, and countries do this all the time with war and fear-mongering, but the easiest way to control people is with fear. When somebody's in a fear, fight, or flight response mode, and you can bark orders at them on what to do, that's the best way to control them and their actions. So if you've been living in fear recently, and you notice it's getting worse, you've got to realize where a lot of the source of your fear is probably coming from. And that's from that toxic person in your life. And realize that the more you figure the narcissist out, the more information you're learning here on Data Site and on YouTube and on books, and actually unlocking their code and seeing behind the mask, the more you do that, the more the narcissist is going to try to exert that control over, and at least maintain the control they had over you in the past, when you were either living in fear or just oblivious to their manipulations. So it's going to get worse, folks. If you stay in a relationship with a narcissist or have contact, and you're figuring them out at the same time, the fear is going to get worse, because they're going to start changing because they see you changing, but also they're going to try to control you even more. And so, the narcissists are very good at finding our weaknesses. If we're afraid of spiders, the narcissist knows that. They file that in the back of their head. And then if they want you to do something, now this is very simplistic, but if they want you to do something, they're going to tell you, if they don't want you to come home, right? Don't come home, there's a bunch of spiders here. So that fear is, that fear is so debilitating. Fear can make you go into depression. You realize it's one of our most root biological functions. And, fear actually served a purpose back when we really needed to have fear, right? The cavemen, people talk about the cavemen, and, if they heard a dinosaur in the distance, they better make sure they have fear, because it's a life and death situation. Well, the narcissist also has fear, but the narcissist is able to project their fear out onto others around them, and to kind of relieve that sense. But I don't know how much their mind thinks about that. That's not my interest, my book of knowledge. Mine is my own fears that I had, where I was practically frozen. And I talked about this before, where I couldn't even hang a picture up, because I was afraid that if I put the nail hole in the wrong spot to put the hanger in, to hang the picture, that I was going to leave a mark, and it wasn't going to be done properly. I'm going to have to hang it somewhere else. So, and one fear, and this is something else too that I've learned about fear, is that one fear can trigger into other fears. I mean, you can have a fear about something and not even realize it. There's root fears, right? There's very root fears, and then there can be fears piled on top of that from that root fear. So why am I saying all this? Well, to make you aware, because I think awareness is power. When you're aware of what's going on around you, and learning more what's is truthfully happening, that you're being manipulated. When you can see the manipulation, then you can take better control of your life and not be a victim, and just be, a victim to me doesn't have power. A victim is just kind of a victim to whatever whims or events occur around them, and they have no power over it. So what I want to help people do is I want to help you is become less of a victim and more of a survivor. Okay, more of a victor. So with that fear, let me stop for a second. So with that fear, number one, if you can figure it out, you might be able to figure out the source of it. And if you can figure it out, then you can do a post-mortem where you can go back and look and see, well, why was I fearful yesterday? Okay, once an event happens, really look and see what really happened. And you may need other people to help guide you on this, as far as be able to tell you what actually happened, because we do tend to see things through our own lens, right? We see our abuser as this nice person, until up until we have some awareness. So, but once you can see that fear, then if you find the cause of that fear, what causes you fear, and you're able to eliminate some of the source of that fear, which is the narcissist, who is actually just taking advantage of that fear, then I think that can help you. But just know, if you're going to stay in a relationship with one, and you're going to know this knowledge, and you're going to take some of this knowledge to heart, as far as gray rocking and what to do, and you're not doing it, it's going to get worse. So ideally, you want to break off, go no contact, so you don't have to put up with that, because the narcissist is going to just push harder and harder and harder. So anyways, well, that's good. I'm glad. Nancy Vignani says, my decision making was non-existent when she was with him. Right? Yeah, narcissists like to make the decisions for you, right? I mean, and for me that worked, okay, because my wife was a networker. She knew people. She got things done, okay, because she manipulated, right? So the social calendar was pretty much set by her, which was fine with me, because I didn't think I was so good at it, even though before I met her I was. But she wanted that, so I was just kind of went along with it. It's just that for me, when they cross certain boundaries, that's when I kind of put my foot down. But before that, there were little subtleties, just little things that I never got a choice with, that I wish she would have asked me about. So yeah, they will make the decisions for you. And you know what? If you go along with a decision, go along with their script. Actors have scripts, right? They want you to be an actor. They want you to be the director. They want to be the director. They want you to follow their script. And they are already an actor, because they're always in character. Your vids really help me. Cool, thank you. I'm glad they do. Facing the fear is so important. It was so hard leaving him, but my life's getting better every day. So here's the, oh man, I can't believe I didn't say this. Here's a really big thing about fears. Fears are what Zig Ziglar calls false evidence appearing real. F-E-A-R. False evidence appearing real. Because fears are just that. There's not really any evidence to it, but it's false evidence appearing real. I mean, he said it better. He couldn't have said it better than me. So yeah, when we have fear, we either fight or flight. And there's also fawning, which is what Richard Grannon talks about. And there's another one too. I can't think of it offhand. But fawning is what fawning is what a lot of codependents do. And fawning, I had to actually look it up. I thought I knew what it meant, and I was pretty accurate. But fawning means to flatter or appease. So, you know, if my narc would say something that she wanted, she'd throw it out there, and if it created some fear in me or some uncomfortableness, see, fear can be just a sense of uneasiness or uncomfortableness. To relieve that, I would fawn. I would laugh it off or say, yeah, sure, you know, oh yeah, that's great, yeah, that sounds great, you know. So you're appeasing to the abuser. You're just kind of going along with it, right? So it's fight, flight, or fawn. Yeah, so many irrational fears revolve around codependence. That is what the narcs thrive on. Yeah, that's kind of why they pick us out, because we're easily manipulated, because we are fearful of things. You know, one of the biggest fears I had was the fear of what other people would think. That's a real fear, you know. The fear of being laughed at. You know, one of the things I thought, well, if I get divorced, what are people going to think? And the truth is, you want to know the real truth? People really don't care. People care about themselves. Yeah. See, that's the thing. When you go do something that you fear, especially if it's with people, other people, and what are they going to do? They're just going to go about their lives. Yeah, somebody may say something, but it's going to be a one-time thing, and then people are more concerned about their lives. They're really not wrapped up in your deal, okay? The only person who's probably most wrapped up more in you than you is probably your narc, because your narc needs you more than you need the narc, okay? The narc needs you to regulate their emotions, to be able to spout stuff off, to project. You know, that's why a narc can go out and have an affair, and then if the affair goes bad or south, at least the narc can come home to you and feel good about themselves, like admire or whatever. Or if the narc goes out and the person they're cheating with decides to leave them, then they can go back to you because, you know, you're accepting them, right? So the narc needs that to regulate their supply. They need you. If they don't have you and they try to cheat, their confidence will be shot. They're nobody, right? They need other people. I know I kind of went off into a tangent with that. Yeah, some people never know who they really are. Getting back to yourself is important. But if you're like me, I didn't know who that self was, right? I didn't know. I'd lost so much of myself, probably 90% of who I really was, in each, you know, and then I had to finally get back to that before I met the narc. And then I'm a little bit more than, you know, I'm a little bit more of a good person, of an aware person than I was before I met my narc. So if you look at this experience as eventually something good is going to come out of it, something good will come out of it. You will be a better person. Look at Dana. I mean, she's been through a lot, and she's an incredible person. Yeah. What will they think? What will family think? That's a big fear a lot of people have. You know, and of course the fear we all have is, what will the narc think? What will they do, or whatever? You know, finally, and I talked about this earlier in another thing, almost with blackmail, where they have so much dirt on you, and the dirt on you they have is nothing compared to what you have on them. But the thing is, you're the type of person that doesn't carry dirt on people. We don't think that way. We don't think, oh, I got the goods on you, I'm gonna expose you. We don't really think that, you know. When we get angry, we do. But we just don't. That's just not how we operate. We're not good at slandering people or, you know, smearing people. The narcs are, right? You know, but the thing is, that's a fear too, because the narcs, they say they're going to do this. They say, oh, I'm going to, you know, they kind of hint that they're going to expose you, or drop a hint, or, you know, I'm going to tell your mom, you know, what you really did. You know, I'm going to tell so and so what you were really like. Oh, you think you got? Oh, well, don't you remember? Oh, you don't want me telling. Oh, you don't want me saying anything to your sister, do you? No. Let them do it. Get to the point, and this is where a lot of people have finally broken free, is they get to the point where they go, I don't care. I don't care. Fuck them. Whatever they're going to do, right? Let them do that. Now, here's what's funny. Once a narc realizes that you're calling their bluff, they panic. They're like, oh my God, that's not working, right? They're not really going to go do all the things that they say they're going to do. They're threatening you. They're putting fear in you to control you somehow, right? So that's one thing that people have to realize, is that all this stuff, this fear, is not real. Now, there may be some things that I don't know about that they may do. If somebody's violent, that's a whole different thing that I've never gotten to that area. Most narcs aren't violent, but you may not have a narc. You may have a psychopath or something. But I love that you guys, you know, the people that are in here. I love it that you're in here and that you're trying to find out how this deal works. And it's really, it comes back to you and knowing that you are being put in places where where you're going to be fearful, and you don't have to be. And what you'll start to do is start to recognize it, you know. Now, I thought about whether I was going to say this or not, and this is what I did, okay? I'm going to preface this. This is what I did that maybe you don't want to do. I'd recommend no contact. If you can do that, great. So, but if you're still not sure about no contact, and why, you know, is my person really a narc? Is the person I'm dealing with? Ask them a question back. So, for example, somebody says to you, this narc says to you, hey, I need you to bring all my stuff over. And you said, well, I brought it over yesterday. And they said, no, you didn't. Then ask them a question and say, why are you saying that? Why? Just ask them why. We're put on the defensive so much, right? They're used to manipulating you and keeping you on the defensive. They need to keep you off balance with fear, which is what this title of this video is about, but they also need to keep you off balance. So they're going to ask you and put you on the defense, okay? And here's how a person acts defensively, and see if this is you at all. I don't know what you're saying. I already did that for you. I thought you said, oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I won't do it again. I didn't know what. Okay, stop. One of the first things that I did, because a friend of mine at church pointed this out to me, she said, stop apologizing. You're making me feel uncomfortable. I was apologizing to everybody around me, just out of habit. I just became so normal because I'd been apologizing to the narc, because I screw up all the time, right? I'm sorry. So don't be on the defensive around the narc, but don't be on the offensive either. We're not good at that. That's not our strong point. Our strong point is empathy and love. Okay? Now, the narc's never going to take that empathy or love to heart that we're going to give them, right? So, if you're not going to go no contact yet, but you want to figure out if you got a narc, ask them a question back. They hate it. They can't stand it. Because watch what'll happen. They'll ask you a question back. It'll be the hot potato game, okay? You know, I ask her, where were you last night? Oh, I was out with so-and-so. Oh, really? That's funny. You called earlier and said that you were going to go over there tonight. I thought you said you were there last night. Well, I don't know. You don't always keep track of what you do. No, that's why are you saying that? Why? I don't understand. Why are you saying that? Practice that. Just practice that. Say it, you know. Well, help me understand that. I don't quite understand. And don't say it like very angrily, or, you know, just act like you really don't understand. Like, what are you saying? I don't understand. Why? My favorite text to a narc's request for something, or when you sense that they might be abusing you, is to just type a question mark and then hit the send button. Whoa. Oh man, you wanna see you want to see your phone blow up, just do that. And then do it again, and keep doing it again if you really don't understand what they're doing. They could be gaslighting you for all you know. So, and again, don't do this. I don't want you to annoy your narc. This is just if you want to figure out, do I really have an abusive person or not? Because this will allow you to be able to see the abuse in real time, okay? Now, if you are still talking to your narc and you don't have a relationship and you're trying to go into contact, stop that. Go written word only, text or email, okay? Yeah, don't even talk to them, because they're masters at, you know, when they got you on the phone and they can talk to you right then and there, they can twist it and turn it. I still crumble at mine. But when I have it's a text, I can think it through, I can read it again, I can screenshot it and give it to somebody else, like in the group, and I don't have to answer it right away. And it gives you a little bit more, yeah, you're able to think it through a little bit more. And then you might want to just do a question mark. Oh, send. Yeah, that's how you can really get their goat. Okay, empathy and love. Yeah, that's what we're all about. Yeah, you can get a copy of this video. I think what I'm going to do when I'm done with this video is I'm going to post it, so you'll be able to play it back. So anyways, don't fear. Fear is false evidence appearing real. The fear is not you. The fear is not reality. You're so clouded right now from all of this crap that this person's put you through, you're not seeing the sunshine, okay? There is sunshine out there. The clouds hide the sunshine, okay? You're in the clouds still right now, okay? If you're in this group and you're asking questions and you want to know, you're probably still in the cloud and you're trying to get rid of that cloud, trying to get that cloud out of the way so you can get to the sunshine. It's there, folks. It really is. So I'm much more of I'm a much better person, a much happier person than I was before I met her. So anyways, all right guys, I got to get back to the grind. I love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.